Hello guys, welcome to Solving Solutions, your bound channel where I get solutions to all your solving problems. It's nice having you in class again today. How have you been? On today's tutorial, we are going to show you how to produce a Choropleth map. Now, we have the population information of Nigeria here, although they are not real. And then we also have the administrative boundary of Nigeria here that shows different attributes, right? Good. So we need to join this table to this particular table or to this particular layer so that we can now have the population data joined to what this spatial data. So we right click, we come to properties, then we go to joins, and then we click on add new join. Then the join layer is the population data, the join field is the state name. Now there should be a common name for the join and the target. There should be a common field between the join and the target layer, right? Good. So you now see that we have state name. So we click on OK, and then we apply, and then we click on OK. So if we come to this attribute table now, we are going to find out that we have joined these attributes, right? Good. However, there are so many redundant data here we don't need, and again, this joined layer of this joined field rather to this particular layer are actually temporary. They are not permanent now. So for us to have them permanent, we need to save them. So before we save them, I can decide to remove some of these fields that we don't need. So I click on toggle editing and then come to delete field. Good. So we are going to take out all of those fields because we don't need them. Now we have a little bit of summarized table, right? Good. So we can decide to right click, export, save features as. That will be a shape file. We give it a name. So we call that population data. We save, then we click on OK. Now in order for us not to alter this particular layer, we are not going to save the layer edit. We just discard and then we take it out because we don't really need it again. Then if we open the attribute table here, we are going to see that we have what our new field, right? Good. Now we have population 1, population 2, which we can actually change or maybe correct. So we come to fields, try to toggle edit. This should be the area, and then this should be the density. Good. Now note something, the data type for the area and the population are integers, but that of the density is a string, which is not what we actually need. So if we try to save this and then we come to properties and then select symbology, if we try to use graduated, we are not going to find the density here, and that is the value we want to use for the symbology. So what will happen is that we come back to our attribute table, which means the field you want to use or you should use should be an integer, right? Good. So we try to create a new field. So we call that density underscore number, and then we use real. We make this 0, and then we click on OK. So the new field has been created. What will now happen is that we are going to use the formula population divided by density to populate this our new field. So we come to open field calculator. So we have the fields here, that's population divided by the area, and then because of these decimals we can decide to round our data to maybe 0 decimal places. Good. So we just have all numbers, right? Good. And then we are trying to update an existing field, which is the density numbers, and then we click on OK. You now see that the new field has been populated. We can save and stop toggle editing. If we now come back to our symbology and then we go to graduated, we'll find the new field we just created here, right? Good. Which means it's actually a value it's actually a field that contains integer values, right? Now the next thing is that we want to use the population density to create our map of interest. So we have selected that field, and then for the color ramp we can decide to use the blues or the reds because of the nature of the map we are trying to produce, right? Good. So you can still use different type of color, but it's usually within a similar gradient, right? Good. So let's say we are using the blues, we are using the equal count, so we classify. You can increase or decrease the classes based on your preference, and then if we apply, and then we try to see what the information we have there. Good. So because of the nature of the symbology, let's go and change the color of the labels to maybe red. We apply, and then we click on OK. Right, good. So we have produced this Choropleth map. The next thing is for us to map it. So we can decide to come to project, new print layout. Okay, so we leave it at this landscape orientation. We add the map. Good. So we can work on the scale. Okay, this is fair enough. We can decide to add a frame, maybe take out the background. Then we can decide to add our grids. So we use solid to test. Then for the intervals, let's use 2. Let's use 2.5. Okay, 2.5 is okay. That's on the easting. That should be the longitude. And then we have 2.5 for the latitude. That's the northings, right? Good, because the CRS is actually a geographic CRS. Then we can decide to take this to cross and then reduce the opacity, maybe make it 25. And then the next thing is that we need to show the frame, and then we now need to draw the coordinates using degree, minute and seconds with their suffix. Because of this precision, we have to take it to 0, and then on our left we change it to vertically ascending, on the right we change it to vertically ascending, and then we see what we have. So we now have to take our maps off the border a bit. Then we can just decide to keep it at this. Then the next thing is we can now decide to add some other map elements like the north arrow. So when you add this, you can click on arrows to select a maybe variation of arrows that you want to use. So let's make it all black, and then we can decide to refresh it. The next, we can add the scale bar. We have it there. We make it line tick up. Then we increase the segment. We move it back in. Try to refresh. Okay, that's fair enough. Then we can add the legend. Now we turn off auto update so that we can take out this data we don't need. Then we take it up again. Okay, we can still refresh. Then we can decide to hide this and then give the title like density. We take out the background, give it a frame so that it will be boxed inside of the frame. Good. Now we can do it a title, right? So for the title, we can still decide to bring this down a bit and then take our north arrow down. Then we add a label. Good. So we have Nigeria population density there. We take center middle. We decide to increase the font to about 20. And then since it's not clear, we can stretch it a bit. Good. Now we can work on our scale. Good. So we just take the title up a bit. Now we can see the states with higher population density. Around the north is Kano. Down the south we have Enugu, Anambra, Rivers, Imo. We have Lagos somewhere around there, and then the rest are actually within the middle and the rest of that. Right, good. So this is a simple map that shows the This is a simple Choropleth map that shows the population density simulated, that's not real, of Nigeria, right? Good. So since we have something like this, we can decide to export. So let's call this map. So we have map underscore population, that's a PDF version. We can also decide to export as an image, and then we are done. We can now open. Good. So we have something as simple as this. Right. Good. So basically we've shown you using QGIS how you can join the population data with the administrative boundary data and then try to make a field numeric so that we can see it under the graduated symbology, and finally making what a very beautiful, simply beautiful map. So thanks for coming to class. We hope we have provided solution to this particular solving problem. We'll see you on the next tutorial. Until then, keep staying safe and have a fantastic time. Bye.